Welcome everybody to the top 10 best summer anime of 2019. My name is Misty Chronexia and I'm here to walk you through what's interesting that is coming out this season in Japan. As usual, every few months, new series get released, and I'm here to cover the goods, the sequels, and that one show that makes me churn butter. And finally, I know this should be obvious, but I'd rather state anyway, this video is my opinion only. Yours very well may vary. As a matter of fact, I hope it does, or I may just hire you to make these lists instead. For full disclosure, I have seen the first 3 episodes of every new anime this season, or as close to for the shows that have been released so far. If an anime becomes incredible a few episodes after this point, I'm afraid I don't have the foresight to expect this, but I think we should be good regardless. But with that said, let's kick things off with my biggest chip on the shoulder. With the worst anime of the season, Oka-san Online. Oka fucking San Online. This anime makes me furrow my brow so deep. I hate it, no scratch that, I loathe it. The premise is about a guy that goes into a video and his mom tags along. How? Don't worry about it. The mom is super overpowered. Why? I said don't worry about it. How they're gonna escape? I said don't worry about it. The anime is absolutely asinine. The comedy is forced like nails on a chalkboard. The visuals are minimalist, the characters are borderline despicable, and it's a painstakingly awful time just to get through the first episode, let alone 3. This is my worst anime of the season. I'd rather watch sexy firemen taking advantage of rescue victims instead. Oh, that's a thing this season too? Well, color me interested. Number 10, Hen Sookie. This anime isn't particularly good. There's definitely better shows out there that Hen Sookie is robbing the place of, like Copcraft. Copcraft is great. Machikado Mazoku, Magical Senpai, Wasteful Days of High School Girls, Sacred Beasts. Nope, I chose Hen Sookie. All for the wrong reason too. The premise is a sexualized Cinderella story. The main character gets anonymous panties from a girl, and just like the glass slipper, he must find whom they belong to. The girls are so far very one-dimensional, all being perverted to some degree. One is submissive, the other one gets off as a dominatrix, and so on. It's kind of predictable, but despite all that, it still managed to remain entertaining and keep me hooked. Again, all for the wrong reason. Number 9. How many kilograms are the dumbbells you lift? This dumbbell anime is an infotainment one, meaning it's part fun and part educational. The theme? Well, as per the title, it's about do you even lift, bruh? While the title itself is a terrible mindset to have when training, the anime is actually pretty decent into walking you through a workout session. If you don't mind the macho and his stupid fucking tiny head. I know it's the joke, and it's on purpose, but it bothers me so much. Besides that, the anime is quite fun. It touches on a lot of topics about being healthy, whether that's the training aspect or even the nutritional bits. I wouldn't recommend it as an actual workout program, but it definitely is motivational, at least enough to get in the right mindset. Add some inspirational rocky music and you're on your way. At number 8, we have a dual entry, Lord Elma 2, Case Files, Rel Zeppelin, Grace Note. Elma is its very own IP, but it also harbors characters from the Fate franchise, so despite that, I'm still putting it in the new IP, but we'll make this a dual entry for the nitpicky of you who think it doesn't count. It's an interesting anime so far, but with only 3 episodes, it's still a bit too early for me to form an opinion on it. It's alright, but you lose a lot of finesse if you don't know about the Fate universe. Instead, if you want something more wholesome, I recommend if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. The Demonic girl is rescued by an adventurer who decides to adopt her. It's a very cute moe fantasy slice of life that's gonna make you go, aww. And you know me, I'm a dad. I need my seasonal moe stuff. Number 7, Kanata no Astra, also known as Lost in Space. Oh, wait, what? No, really? Are you serious? Oh wow, people are sleeping on this anime. Jesus, wake up, you're at the fucking wheel. Kanata no Astra is so many things done right, it's a survival anime. Don't worry, there's a bunch this season about that thematic, and I truly couldn't have enough. But this one is set in the future, in a world where science and technology has exploded. Children, upon reaching a certain age, must go to a mandatory 5 days camping trip on a nearby uninhabited planet. So a group of 9 teenagers go there, and when they're finally left alone, a mysterious sphere sucked them up and puked them out, lost in space, 5,000 light years away. They manage to make it to an abandoned spacecraft, and they must try to make it back home while stopping to nearby planets on the way to replenish their rations. But if that wasn't dire enough, there's also a wolf in sheep's clothing on board that's trying to kill everyone. It's everything I love about a series. Survival, a whodunit murder mystery theme, and space exploration a la Star Trek / Stargate. It's fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. That's a word I made up. Number 6, Sounan Desu. Are you lost? Back to back, another survival anime. My list is possibly biased because I really like that topic. This one is a survival infotainment show, but it's done so incredibly well. It's super well balanced with comedy, valuable and viable survival tips. I made an extensive video on Are You Lost that I highly suggest you check it out. If you want more detail on this info card right here, which I strongly recommend you do, it's worth it. But if you want the TLDR version, 4 girls are the sole survivor of a plane crash, and while they don't really seem to mind the fact that everyone else died, they try their best to survive on this island without mentally breaking down. Thankfully, they have the female Bear Grylls party member that carries them out like an overleveled assassin in a MOBA game. Despite the pretty grim premise, the show is actually very upbeat, and the episode goes by in a flash. It's very delectable. Number 5, Maiden of the Savage Season. Maiden of the Savage Season kind of has a take on a topic that's very easy to trample and get skewed: sex. This is not a fanservice heavy anime about girls being lewd and your beam of light censoring and inappropriate fondling. It's actually a very careful tale about sexual awakening in teenage girls and their path to maturing into people. The psychology is rich in this one, which is why I'm giving it such praises. The story is about a literature club who stumbles onto an erotic book and they start talking about it, eventually growing at their own pace. It's very unique, and I think it's amazing to have an anime that finally have a serious take on the matter. It reminds me a lot of A Place Further Than the Universe in terms of youth growing and quality. Give it a try, it's really well put together. Number 4, Given. Given is the sleeper of this season. Just like Kanata no Astra, no one is realizing how good of a show this is. I mean, sure, it's a shonen anime, and I know there's still a bunch of closeted homophobics, which kinda irks me because in my experience, that's also the kind of people who are like, yeah, lesbians are hot, but dude, kissing? Ew. So yeah, that's an hypocritical statement if I ever heard one. Anyway, back to Given. It's about a guy that becomes kind of jaded towards his passion, which is guitar and basketball, until he meets another boy who gives him a brand new perspective. It's a real shame shonen anime get that shade because they're doing a lot of things right. If you've seen Bloom Into You a few seasons ago, this is like its, excuse the pun, straight counterpart. Number 3, Finland Saga. Which studio has done it again? Finland Saga is probably going to be the most critically acclaimed anime this season. I cannot fault anyone if you like it, it's tremendously good. As is anything with Studio fucking Touch with their gold hand. Finland Saga is a story about Vikings and Thorfinn, a boy who grew up on the battlefield, honing his skill to go on an adventure and get revenge for the death of his father. Turns out there isn't any toothless dragon to tag along, so that's a bit disappointing. But beside that, it's just flawless. It only ends up 3rd because historical themes just aren't my preference, but I can still appreciate everything it does, because again, it's phenomenal. Number 2, Dr. Stone. And the final survival anime to complete our trilogy of Don't Die in the Wild is Dr. Stone. After an unexplained flash turned everyone to stone, a scientist enthusiast managed to break through the curse a few millennium later, and with his vast scientific knowledge, he tries to bring back everyone to life and speed through the Stone Age back to modern time. This one uses survival theme very loosely as a basic premise, but it actually has a very solid angle on the science front, giving you formulas, compounds, and the whole vernacular that tags along. They legit teach you how to make wine in the first episode. I know a few people will be heartbroken that it's not number 1, but unfortunately this season my heart belongs to... Finally, number 1, Fire Force. Fire Force absolutely captivated me in its very first episode. I thought it would be just another generic shonen with bland characters and no depth. I thought everyone having firepower would be redundant and tiresome after a while, but none of that. My expectations were blown away like a shitty dollar store candle. Fire Force has characters with rich personalities. The animation is, well, literally straight up fire. And there's Maki. Girl, you work it so good. And then there's another girl called Tamaki. Yeah, I don't think that was a mistake. They're all maximum real bae, so I'm gonna make you my thumbnail, girl, cause you hella deserve it. The show is outstanding, and while it may not be everyone's first pick this season, it's definitely mine. Also, Latam for Kyoto Animation. I figured I should toss this in here. But we are not quite done yet. Now, in terms of sequels, there isn't a lot this season. Usually there's at least 10 of them for me to make a lightning round, second top 10 in this video. But there's only 6 titles to cover this season. So let me address those as well while we're here, in case you've been meaning to look into them. Starting off at the bottom of the barrel. Number 6, Starmule 3, it's garbage. You never were interested in season 1 and 2. Don't know why you would pick this one up now. But if you're one of the rare girl that does indeed watch it, it's just more of the same thing. Nothing to ride your Hitachi home about. Number 5, Yami Shibai 7. More shitty horror stories. They're campfire, quote-unquote, horror stories. Imagine Goosebumps, but without the spooks. Imagine Black Mirror without technology and the dreading feelings you get after each episode. Actually, I can't really tell you what it's about. It's just garbage. Number 4, Symphogear. Is that 15? No, they're not up to 15, are they? Symphogear is just, like, is that one anime that just kind of is doing its own thing, trekking along? Nobody really talks about it here in the West. It's pretty popular in Japan. But you just have to watch one episode to be like, yeah, that's very stereotypical anime-esque. It's whatever. I don't really have an opinion of it. It just exists. Number 3, Accelerator. Part of the Toaru franchise, a side story to Magical Index. If you like Accelerator as a character, which, I mean, who doesn't, then you should have a good time with this one. But at the end of the day, it's not a core part of the story, more of a spin-off. Like they did with Danmachi and the Eyes spin-off series. Yeah, remember? That was a thing. But speaking of Danmachi too... Number 2, Danmachi 2. It's back this season, giving out a lot of bangs for its bucks. A few episodes in and I can already tell you it's gonna be lit. But the beginning is a bit slow, and god do I not give a shit about Lily Ruka. Can she stop having dedicated airtime? Sorry, great show though. And finally, the number 1 in the sequel department is Takagi Son 2. This anime just does everything right. Character synergy, charm, comedy, it's all the right notes. If you haven't seen season 1, it's definitely worth picking up right now. I mean, right the fuck now. Because they're dishing out hot servings in round 2 at this moment. And that's all the time that I had for this season. I still would like to do individual dedicated videos to some of those entries because in top 10s like this, I can barely scratch the surface, so let me know if you'd like more in-depth reviews of Fire Force, Dr. Stone, or even something like Kanata no Astra. I could talk about it for a lot more time. Definitely I could bore your ear off. Or if you just want to hear me shit on Okasan online, I can definitely do that. Oh boy, can I. Leave me a like if you enjoyed this top 10, and Discord, my Twitter, subscribe. Yeah, links in the description. That's an awkward way to end. You know what would be even more awkward? If I didn't even finish my sentence.
Hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.